Hey group, today I'm going to show you a primitive fishing catch and cook. Now we're currently in the Davis Mountains of West Texas. It's mid-November, and even though it's not very cold outside, as you can see, the days are quite a bit shorter. Now we've got several more miles to make up this trail. I'm going to show you my favorite, well, my secret fishing spot. I think you're going to like it. We've got some foraging to do, show you parts and pieces of how to make the line, how to make the hook, bait, and hopefully by the end of the day, we get some fish out of the deal. So guys, quite a bit to do, miles to go. Let's get started. Let's go ahead. All right. So even though our main target's going to be fish on up trail, there's a few little treats that we could pick along the way. This one right here is evergreen sumac, and the berries are just absolutely ready right now. Real tart, not bad. These bushes are absolutely covered with them. We'll grab a few handfuls. Keep on going. Alright. So you might be able to tell this area has suffered a flash flood here in recent months. It's pretty ripped up down here. I'm gonna see if I can't get a pole off of this tortured willow, and we'll be off to the next part. Work. Now this is a Texas madrone, commonly known as a naked Indian tree. These are pretty hard to miss, but what a lot of people don't realize are that they have edible fruits. So really awesome. Kind of chalky this year, but like a dried raspberry. Really good, covered with them. Really hard to pass up. Beautiful tree though. Beautiful yucca. We have several different options out here. There's sotol's, agave. You climb up about 1,000 foot up the mountains, we'll have basket grass. But this is Spanish dagger yucca. This is what we're going to make our line out of today. Let's take a couple of these. Let's call it 3. 3 of them will work. There we go. Want to find hooks, bait, and get to our fishing hole. Go ahead. Alright. Sun's caught up. And if I'm right, I think I can hear it. Our fishing hole is just up here at 100 yards. Y'all gonna like this. Go, bud. Here we are. Welcome to the notch. Now we still got to make our line. We should be able to find some hooks up here. And hopefully, as the shadows pull back, I'll show you this place. We'll catch some supper. Get started. Come on up. To get on top, you gotta go up. Hopefully that's our cactus up there. That's how we're gonna make our hook. If I could work. This right here is a fish hook cactus. And it's called that because a lot of these little spines down here look like fish hooks. This is going to be our tackle box. I'm just going to top this cactus. I can take it with me, the parts that I need, and then it'll continue to grow. Really awesome cactus though. Whew. That's sharp. Go ahead and use a rock. Cut our cactus up. There we go. Again, that's why we call it fish hook. It's already got me. Should work. Oh, buddy. Alright, this is where I'm going to go ahead and make my fishing line, get everything set up. Here real fast though, I want to show you the waterfall. Hopefully y'all can hear that in the background. It's a really neat place. This place right here. This is stunning. Now back behind the waterfall, all kinds of really slick, awesome water slides. It's all solid rock. Down here below, really, really deep water. Up here in a bit, we'll be pulling some fish out. We'll get our line ready. Give it a good try. Go ahead. Go up there, bud. Up. Good boy. I don't have four-wheel drive at all. Alright, first things first, the time-consuming bit. We're going to make cordage out of this yucca. Now it takes spraying it out, a little bit of twisting, and a lot of patience. So to do that, not much finesse at first. I'm going to take the pointy end. I'm going to start just beating the heck out of it. Just like that. I'm sorry, that. Starting to pulp up. And as you look closely, I'm draw individual strands and fibers. The thinner the better. Take these and start splitting them down all the way to the end, so we get the longest strands possible. This can take quite a bit of time. You've got the option to do this around the campfire at night, or be prepared and bring cordage with you. Break it down a little bit more, strand it out a bit more with a whip, and at any given time, you break it up some more. Depending on the size of cordage and how pretty you want to make it, we can continue on with processing, or we can skip ahead. So skipping ahead, What we want to do is start taking individual strands off and then paring them down smaller and smaller until we have something that we can use as fishing line. Now this is going to be braided 3 or 4 pieces at a time to itself, which means that your single filaments are going to be best, because once they braid together, they're going to be a little thicker. So thinner is better. Take the time. Better quality fishing line, thinner fishing line typically catches better fish. Skip ahead, par down a bunch of these, start stacking them up. I'll show you how to make fish line out of them. Now we're chasing the sun. This should be a good enough pile to get us started. And if we need more, yucca roots we can process to extend our fishing line. It's one of the reasons I like to take the largest fishing pole I can get my hands on. So we've got a coal pile over here, the stuff that I wasn't really able to make anything out of. This is our base material. We're about to weave together, so let's go ahead and make a down and dirty, real quick fishing line before the sun tells us. Start out with a couple thin lines. Begins. We put both lines together, grab in the middle just a little bit, and fold it over. Make a bit of a loop. Alright, come set off, 2 sets just like that. And start spinning each of these sets to the inside. I just spun that. I'm going to use my pointing finger here on the left hand, flip this over. Show you that a few more times so y'all can kind of get the rhythm of this. And that makes this bar down here the one I want to twist now. So the one that's closest to me, I'll twist, flip over, twist, flip over, twist, flip over. Alright, so you just keep on doing that, twisting in. More twist is better than less twist. And at all times I'm kind of keeping some tension here with my fingers, so I'm actually pulling back on the rope itself. After a few hundred hours, you can make some really, really pretty rope. Some real fine line, and as you progress, you can get it thinner, or if you want to, you can make some really thick 1/2 inch to 1 inch rope out of this. This is how rope is made. So twist, flip, and put your brain on autopilot until you've got something that kind of looks like that. So typically, I'll make something smaller than 1/4 inch, about 8 inch bank line. But for fishing, we're probably going after bluegill down here in these mountains. This will work really well. Rinse, repeat. So the next step to this, as I continue on, inevitably, you're going to start running out of line. A few of you probably noticed that. Just keep going. As it begins to thin, what I'll do is find another small strand. Right there. And take this strand right here in the middle and seat it right there on top of my thumb. One wing out in each direction. I'm going to incorporate it into the two. So flipping, twist, flipping, twist. For a moment, it might make your line a little thicker. After a while, depending on how picky you want to be, you can get some really thin strands to add in there and then thicken up and then thin down. If you're doing larger strands or making larger rope here, you can also take, if one of these sides gets a little thicker than the other, you can also take one of the sides, flip it over, and start twisting like that to make sure that you stay constant in your braid. So all kinds of little tricks. But we're making a very stout, very robust, twisted primitive cordage. Pretty awesome. Have to run out, find yourself some more. Keep on going. Twist, twist. Shadows are a little longer, but this should be good to go. Time this off. Not fast. Make sure it doesn't come unraveled. Here is a cordage. As you make it, it's a little tangled. Spin it out a little bit. Pull it up. It has dried out over the course of the hour. Duck it in water. Make it back. Make it look real nice. This is the main line. At the very end of the line, we're going to make the hook. Put the hook. Set aside a few of these leaders. And that's just a real thin, real strong piece that I'll use to attach the hook to. It makes it where the fish aren't paying attention to the line. It's about as close to siren or monofilament line you're going to get out here in the wild. So we'll attach that after we get our hook. Let's go off the side. Time to work on the hook. Whether the cactus has me. So we're going to get our hooks out of it. I've got lots to choose from. Pretty gnarly. That might actually work right there. So that hook has proven itself, and it pulled itself out, which is kind of what we were going to do. It's something where there was a bumper or stopper with a hook. Around. There we go. Let's see if that works. Now, this is where the skill comes in. You take the very narrow end of this line right here and tie it around the hook so that it doesn't come loose. Any small fish, small hook, should work well. Alright, that was a dead spine. Back to our main point. What we want to do is cut a bit of a chunk out of this cactus. So, you can't pull the hooks out. They do have a tolerance for them. So pick your pleasure, whichever hook you want. We'll break that off, and we'll be securing it. Alright, let's attach the leader. Good thing that they're bluegill, which means they'll hit just about anything. So, attach the line, and it's time to go find some bait. Pull, and bait. is what we're after right here. Bit of a gambit, large acorns. I can make a lure out of them. Hopefully what's inside won't be a worm. Much better bait. Search. Show you what I found thus far. It's not much. Looks like the pigs are probably coming through here and grabbing them. Now, in addition to these acorns, which I could make a meal out of if I'm not lucky, it takes a little bit of processing. We also found two things. One was this small walnut, and this is a Texas walnut. They're very, very small, but this one's half the size it ought to be. It should be much larger, so not a good year for them. And a snail shell, and it kind of looks like a ram's horn. So that can be a lure. It can also be used as a bobber. Pretty cool little finds. We'll take these over, see what we can do with them. Hopefully we'll find some worms, and we'll get to fishing. Rock, and here's our take. Time to get to cracking. Looks to be intact. 1 out of 1. Let's try some more. There you go. Net number 2, and we've got a worm. Let's pry this meat out and take a look at our bait. Now, there you go. That is a prime piece of bluegill bait. Plenty good size for the hook. Hopefully that means a fish. Doesn't take much though. Alright, he's on. Wish you luck. Check this out. Right down here. Yep. Thank you, Hut. Thank you. Alright. So, all kinds of little creatures. Let's see if I can't go ahead and grab him. He's not jumping. Here we go. What do you think about that, Huck? A strange little frog. Alright. There you go. Little canyon frog. Doesn't want to be around me. And if I didn't have good bait and I was really surviving, he might be a good option. So, there he goes. Let's climb on up there again. And find a spot. Go back to fishing. Some of you probably made that out. This next part is going to take some explaining. I just lowered my line, my hook, and my bait back behind that large boulder. And I did get my fish, but in the getting, I got him stuck. It's at this point that kind of pulled a Bear Grylls. Now in the past, my younger years, talking 15, 20 years ago, I had successfully climbed down off this very same waterfall and back up it many times. So that was the plan. I hadn't had much success throughout the rest of that hour. It's usually a really good fishing hole. My guess is that the flash floods a month before and severely impacted those fish populations. So, first fish, only fish, wasn't gonna let him go. I wish I could show you the detail back here. It is extremely jagged. It's very slippery, and there's a lot of room going down to the water. I was able to successfully reach down and get that fish unstuck. Good save there. Now as I pull him up, got a few things I got to figure out. Toss the fish back up and over the boulder. He has since expired. He shouldn't go anywhere. And same thing with the dog. I make sure he's not going to follow me down. But I did a little bit of editing here. I made my attempt to climb back up this waterfall. A failed attempt. Not spectacular, but you'll notice I'm a little wetter now. This is, the last plan I've got. Unfortunately, an advisory here, what you just saw. Make sure before you attempt this make better life choices initially. But if you're going to go in with boots and knife and all the gear, be sure that you can float and still swim. I do this quite often, more often than I'd like to admit. But there it is, guys. Win some, lose some. Certainly a time to contemplate life choices. I don't know that I mentioned that it's mid-November right now, and that is spring water. So it is brisk. To say the least. So, we'll laugh about this later, but for this catch and cook, I think you get one fish. That's your fish. And from here, it's time for me to make a fire and not get hypothermia on film. Alright. Lost the hook. Definitely not going to lose the fish, so that was hard won. Now normally I'd go ahead and use some of these small rock pools back here as kind of live wells. I'd put several of the fish in, and then whenever I was ready to cook them, I'd dispatch them, scale them, cook them up. But this one I've already dispatched over there. We're just going to scale it down here, head for where our firewood is, collect a bunch, start a fire, and get going with this. Fish. Pretty good, huh? Alright. It's been a few years since I've used this. Looks like somebody's been here. Since it's already been built, go ahead and find some firewood and utilize this. Whew. So, probably gonna get called out on that. This isn't any kind of official fire lay. It's just a lazy man's fire. Or somebody's really cold. Out here in West Texas, we can get away with really not doing too much when it comes to fire lays because of how dry our firewood is. And if you can get away with something, you might as well not put the extra effort or burn the extra energy. Gotta warm up. Hey, Duck, you come warm up? Come on, buddy. Come on. In about 5 minutes, it starts to burn down. It's fairly dry wood. Most of the stuff was gathered up from flash floods, so there's not much to it. We're just going to put our fish straight on the coals, cook them up real quick, while I'm drying off, warm them back up before we lose too much more light. Take too long. That'll work. Few minutes on each side, and we'll have fresh fish. Okay. Our fish is just about done. And for those of you that have watched this channel before, you've seen me cook and eat bluegill before. A couple of other sunfish variants. Pretty easy fish. Alright. We scale them. Sometimes we'll put stuff inside of them. Whitefish, panfish, a really good fish to enjoy and eat. Doesn't take long to cook them. And we've got our taste tester right here. It's a little hot. Want that? Okay. So, guys, I genuinely hope you learned something from this video, or at least enjoyed my antics. Hindsight is 20/20, for sure. If you're gonna come out here and practice these things, as always, please make sure that you're being ethical, legal, you have all the permits, and that you fish and hunt, trap responsibly. Make sure there's more out there for everybody else. Do it sustainably. Take care of your campfires. Make sure you put them out. Clean up your camping areas. All those good things. For those of you wondering where we're at right now, this is actually a scout ranch out in West Texas. This is the Buffalo Trail Scout Ranch. And for those of you wondering where I've learned my skills over the years, places like this. This place specifically. If you'd like to know more, check out the description. We've got some links down there below this video. As always, guys, please like, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you think about it. We'll have more to come. You want to try this? We'll definitely have more to come. Sorry for the quick wrap up, but I've got 4 miles to hit tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, it's mid-November. I'm still half wet. Got a campfire to put out. Some miles to get gone. So, guys, take care, and as always, till next time. Scott.